Alright there. Hi, my name's Admiral Bumblebee, and I'm going to be showing you how to make perfectly balanced drumsticks and how to have a way to balance your drumsticks while you're playing so they look really fantastic and they last much longer. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you one of my sticks, and then we're going to go through the supplies. Alright, you can see in here I have in my hand one of my drumsticks. Just looks like a normal drumstick. I've been using this drumstick for a year. I'm a hard hitter. I hit pretty darn hard. But as you notice, as I rotate the drumstick, you're going to see that the wear on the drumstick is asymmetrical. And there it is. You see that right there? That's because I always hit my cymbals with the exact same place on the drumstick. And what this does, as you can see, if you look at the grain, if I go with my other hand here, we look at the grain, we never chip away at the edge of the grain. We're always hitting it on center along the axis. Perpendicular to the axis, I'm sorry. So here we go. If you look again, you can see it's perfectly smooth, just like that. I'll flip it around so you can see. And no, my drumstick is not bent. It's actually perfectly straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little notchy thing here, just like this, using zip ties and tape. And that's going to allow us to always hold our drumstick in the exact same place, no matter where we are. It makes a very nice, comfortable grip in the middle here. No matter if you're playing French grip, or German grip, or even like an American style, you still have this nice little ball in the center of your hand that keeps the drumstick from rotating when you play. And you can see as I look here, and I show you on the camera, nice and perfectly wonderful wear on the stick. And these sticks last forever. I mean, before I figured this out, the sticks did not last me that long. I would go through a pair of sticks about once a month. And I'm actually pretty good about my sticks on top of that. But now these sticks have lasted me almost a year, and the previous pair I did this to lasted me about 7 months. So this is very worthwhile just to keep your sticks, even if you're not worried about the balance of your sticks or maintaining even quality of sound and such through your sticks. So let's go ahead and do this now. Alright, the supplies that you're going to need for this are you're going to need some string, you're going to need some scissors to cut the string, and to cut the tape, the electrical tape. We're going to need some glue. We're going to need zip ties. You're going to need four zip ties. We're going to need something to hold stuff. In this I'm actually going to use my hand, but normally I like to use this guy because he gives me something more precise that I can do. We're going to need a drumstick, and I don't know if we said we need a marker, but we need a marker. Black Sharpie, felt tip pen. You know, magic marker. Alright, so now let's move on to what we actually need to do with the sticks. First thing we have to do is weigh our drumstick. So we're going to turn on the scale, we're going to make sure it's taired, and then we're going to put the drum on there. I'm not going to put the drum on there, that would weigh a little too much. We're going to put the drumstick on there and weigh it, so we get the actual accurate weight of the drumstick. So we just got to balance it on here so it's not going to roll off on us. And we're at 49.9 grams. We're just going to assume 50 for the sake of discussion. So we take the stick off. Now the next thing we need to know is we need to know exactly 1/4 of the weight of the drumstick. And that's going to be half of half. Half of 50 is 25. Half of 25 is 12.5. So, the next thing we need to do is we're going to take the stick and we're going to put a string on it, just like you see here. I just did a simple slip knot and I slipped it around the edge. We are going to suspend the stick from the string and put the tip on the scale, and then we're going to move the string up and down the stick until the scale reads 12.5, which is exactly what we're looking for. That will put 1/4 of the weight of the stick balanced, so we're perfectly balanced. So I'm just going to move this around a little bit. If your weight is too much, go towards the tip. If it's too little, go towards the butt. And I'm just going to a little bit more tweaky here. Exactly 12.5. Now we have 12.5, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pinch this, and right, you see on there, I'm going to take my marker, and I'm going to mark right on top of the string. Bam, just like that. So you might be able to see it, you might not, but I have a mark on the string. I'm going to take the stick off, with the mark on the string. Once you have the marks on your stick, we're going to take our black electrical tape. You don't have to do this step. I actually prefer to do it with electrical tape because it gives me some area of adjustment, but you can do the next step skipping the electrical tape. I'm going to take my electrical tape. I'm going to undo the edge here. Ah, tape is such a pain. There we go. And now I'm going to line up the center of it perfectly with the mark that I made. Oops, I'm getting off camera, sorry there. And then I'm going to wrap it around. Off screen, I'm going to wrap it twice. 1, 2, and then I'm going to cut it. Off screen. Can't see me, haha, I'm hidden. And we have it perfectly wrapped right here. And this is sufficient to just know the balance point of your stick. If you hold the stick right here, you can go play on a pad. It's going to feel fantastic. I mean, it's really going to feel like you just nailed it, because you did nail it. Once you have your tape on the stick, we are going to take our zip ties, going to loosely put the zip tie around here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to loosely, don't do it all the way, but we're going to loosely put it on the stick here around your electrical tape. Don't do it too hard because we have to put a second zip tie. And the reason we don't do one zip tie is because one zip tie I found to just simply not be comfortable, and it slips a little bit easier, even though we're optionally going to glue this on. You want to make sure you put both your zip ties on in the same direction, which I almost just didn't do while telling you to do that. Alright, so we got these guys on here. We want to center them as best as we possibly can, and then we will tighten them down. And even after you tighten them, you're still going to have a little bit of wiggle room, especially if you decide to not put the tape on. I don't know why you would do that though, because the tape is awesome. Alright, so we have the tape on here, we have the zip ties on here, just like that. What you're going to want to do is, and I'm not going to show these final steps because they're pretty simple, you're going to tighten your zip ties all the way down. We're going to snip the edges off. I would suggest putting a little bit of glue in the center and a little bit of glue on the edges of the zip tie on the opposite of where the little knots are. And then taking something like a Dremel or some sandpaper and sanding down the top of the knots once you cut this off so you don't have any sharp edges. Sand the corners down, just make it feel really nice. I even put a little dab of super glue in there to close everything off. Make sure that nothing comes out. And then once you're done, you're going to have a drumstick where you can just put it in your hand. Have always the perfect rotation to ensure even wear on your drumsticks. Have the perfect balance point and always be ready to go. One other thing is that if you look on the grain of your drumstick, you'll see a triangle. You probably can't see it right now, but you'll see it. Just look at your drumstick, you'll see a triangle. If you play French grip, you want that triangle to be where your thumb is. So I'm showing you the triangle right now, where the grain is, and you want your thumb to be pointed just like that. So you're going to want to rotate the knots of the zip ties so that they land in your hand perfectly when you are holding in French grip. So they will be on the opposite side, essentially, of where this triangle on the grain is, and then pull just a little bit more. If you use German grip, they're going to be the exact opposite side of where the grain is, the top of the grain where it slopes out of the stick. And once you do that, your sticks are going to last much longer.